2013. Big tech wasn't really here. So what have they seen in the past 10 years, which is making all of them want to put their HQ here? They've seen indigenous, tech startups achieving things that took them years to figure out. They've seen how we are using the limited resources we have to solve real problems. They've seen.
The first thing that you notice is that we are all young people. So when you look at the passion and the dedication, that is just enough motivation to see that the team is actually the right team to actually make ClinicPesa be able to stand out.
The ultimate success for our company is we want to be a household name. So we talk about this within the team. We want to be like Amazon, we want to be like Google. This is not, we are not looking to sort of be just another player.
We are a global economy. We are in a big, gigantic world, and we've all got to work together. We've all got to collaborate. And that collaboration has to include the continent of Africa because there are so many unique opportunities there.
I'm Crispinus, the founder and CEO at ClinicPesa, and I'm a software engineer by profession. The people who work for ClinicPesa, typically, the first thing that you notice is that we are all young people. So they wake up every morning, every day, to go effortless and tirelessly to just go and push and make sure that ClinicPesa is out there to first gain new customers. Second, also compete favorably. And third, to get the right value for its customers. So when you look at the passion and the dedication, that is just enough motivation to see that the team is actually the right team to actually make ClinicPesa be able to stand out. The insurance coverage is very low, most especially in Africa, and even when you look at Uganda. So ClinicPesa came from a perspective of provide a wallet where customers are able to save and use these savings to offset their medical bill at the next door healthcare center. If they don't have enough, then of course ClinicPesa comes in for you and gives you a loan top-up to clear your medical bill. So you don't have to incur any other cost because then you're paying directly to your healthcare facility. Now, for expectant mothers, we have a special segmentation where we call it ClinicPesa Mamas. A mother is able to save for 4 major components. That is the birth preparedness kit, the transportation to the healthcare facilities, and the cost of treatment, as well as safe child delivery and some money for upkeep. So once they've saved up for this money, and in 9 months, because they save on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, where they drop some little money towards their target. So this gives the mothers the ability of having a healthy baby, because then they were able to go for all their antenatals. They didn't skip any because they were able to afford to actually pay for those antenatals. Then for our healthcare facilities, we've come up with also other offerings to be able to bring the cost of treatment a little bit down for them, most especially when we look at the cost of treatment, that is medication. So we provide them with medical supplies as well.
Here in Africa, medical health is for paying. So no one can give you a medical service for free. For people here to access our services, for example, Jofla Medical Center, there is a cost attached to it. ClinicPesa has helped people to save for that. No one else had done that. But now, people can easily save and have money on their accounts. When they come here, they just have to show us the money on their account and they pay the bills. You can even save like $10, $20, $15, and at the end of the month, you have $300, $400. They can easily cover up the bills in Jofla Medical Center on any service that we have. It has helped people not to fear to go to health facilities. It has saved mothers to deliver from homes. They come to the center because they have saved for 9 months and they can easily come and access the service. So really it has helped people to adopt coming to hospitals and staying home and dying there without the money.
ClinicPesa has benefited from big tech companies like Google. When, for example, we look at our infrastructure, it is purely powered by Kubernetes. We have zero downtimes. We have greater uptimes when we want to do upgrades and things like that. These are all big tech technologies that we're actually using. So when you look at the computers today that we're actually using, the operating systems are all powered by Microsoft. And this is one way of how you see our companies actually benefited from the big tech companies. Our business model has actually changed because of the big tech products in Africa. Most especially when you look at the aspect of scale, before you would, scale is something that you would actually be scared of. So we are able to pivot your business model. That means charge a little bit low and push for the aspect of scale in numbers so that you're also able to serve more customers. And then you're able to sustain the business at the same time. Today, we are close to clocking 1 million customers also. And without the big tech, it will be a little bit challenging. So I don't think there is a downside of tech companies coming to Africa. The only thing that needs to be done is regulation. The big tech companies are too big. If they do certain businesses, there are certain business lines that typically are not meant for them. Because they are too big, it means they would do what they call monopoly. If we were to roll out mobile money on WhatsApp, for example, it will typically monopolize the entire market. So that's why I'm saying there is need for regulation to avoid the aspect of monopoly, but then there is no harm in letting the big techs venture in Africa, because then we are coexisting.
The Africa Transformation Office views startup founders as, one, risk takers, two, as partners who they want to support and work with to be successful, given that the challenges that they're trying to solve in Africa are opportunities that can be actually either monetized or create impact. So when I look at some of the health tech startups that I'm looking at, the fact that some of those startups are reducing maternal deaths, are accessing health at a cheaper, affordable, faster rate than other solutions. It doesn't matter then if that founder has failed before, but what they're currently doing or working with is something that can actually have a lot more impact. So I just look at some of those in our engagement. We look at some of those founders maybe that have failed before as having a second chance to build something that can be more sustainable, and we encourage them through the journey of that second trial or even third if they're serial founders.
There's some research out there that second-time founders or repeat founders can learn from their past mistakes. That's pretty obvious. I think that regardless of how many startups you've founded, there can be some lived experiences that can help make you scrappy, a great problem solver, able to stretch a dollar. And so it is a factor that we consider whether a founder has founded more companies. And other factors that might contribute there would be if they've worked at a startup before, or if they have a really well-rounded background or a deep specialty in a certain pressing topic like AI.
Anytime you take money from investors also have sort of what they are trying to achieve. So anytime you're taking money from them, you stand at risk. But then as a founder, you need to be in control. You need to know what you want to do. You need to tell the investors where you're going, where the company is going, and stand your ground. But then once you bring on investors, it's like a marriage, right? They have their opinions. You have to listen to them. You cannot brush them aside that easily. But that is it. I think the ultimate outcome of the company lies on the founders, not the investors, because the investors do not really have much say at the early stages. I remember in my previous company, for example, we had to take some investment from someone, and they wanted us to wear a ring for monitoring. And we said, no, we are not taking the ring. So the investment goes up. So I think you have to decide on what you want to take, and you have to know what you want to do. My name is Andrew Kwa. I'm the CEO and founder of Rigelis Incorporated. What really inspires me about the people that I work with is the opportunity for all of us to build something great. So we are sort of like just at the beginning of building something great. And the team, the energy, the zeal, the enthusiasm with which they take on the vision is what really inspires me about that. So at Rigelis Inc., we are building an operating system for emerging market pharmacies. So you take Rigelis as sort of the OS, like you have a Windows, you have a computer, we are just Windows to that computer. So basically what we want to do is make sure that the pharmacy is able to run, and then we are able to connect every other space, every other thing to it. So telemedicine, be it supplies, be it insurance, anything, you can connect to it. Well, for us, if you ask us at Rigelis, the ultimate success for our company is we want to be a household name. Like, so we talk about this within the team. Like, we want to be like Amazon, we want to be like Google. Our key vision to the future is really like anything that you want to buy. Not only pharmaceuticals. Anytime you want anything, just Rigelis should be there for you. In terms of challenge, I think it's very interesting. A bit of disclosure here. I was in a hospital for a month. And I couldn't do anything. And at that point, for me, that was sort of like, I didn't really have any answers for that. In terms of challenges, you're realizing maybe at early points where we're trying to raise funding and not getting funding, that becomes sort of like a sticking point. Okay, if you don't get this funding, this doesn't really even take off to even become profitable. So we were able to lead ourselves through that by decreasing burn rates. So very minimal team. As you can see, we still have a very minimum team. We are trying to reduce the burn as much as possible so that when the funding climate changes, then we can be able to sort of like bring in more funds and bring in more people, more bodies into it. The influence that the big tech is having, they are mirrored. Like you have positive, negative, and other, but I'll dwell on the positives. The fact that they are shining a lot of light on us. Internet connectivity is increasing. You have access to AWS, Amazon, Google Clouds, and all that. I think that is going to help a lot of innovation. It's going to drive a lot of innovation. Things that we couldn't do before, now we could do. Like now you could actually have somebody in Ghana selling to somebody in the States. So that's one of the pluses for big tech. In the next 10 years, I think big tech is going to be almost everywhere. They are owning stakes also in companies anyway. So I think anywhere that you turn, any company that you try to use, you cannot sort of escape their claws. Like their claws are going to be on you. But I think if you look at the positive side, there's more of an upside than a downside for us. Yeah, so I'll say Google and Amazon because we use AWS service. We also use Google Cloud. So those are the key benefits. As early stage startups, they give you a certain amount for free, which is very good and very beneficial. It helps you to not think about cloud cost and all that. And you can deploy over that. As you scale and you make more money, you'll be able to sort of pay them back or start paying. But for now, I think the benefit that we've gotten is being the community, the server space, and all that is free for startups once you apply for them. Tech is needed. Like tech is live. Like right now, everything that we are doing is tech. Like you can't really do anything without tech. So I think what the reaction should rather be should be embracing it, seeing the best way in which we can harness it to improve us, to improve the things that we do as well. But not trying to sort of, we don't want big tech, sort of, no technology in our space, because like you can't stop it. Like this is like an idea whose time has come. Like there's no stopping to that.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depend on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
people in the US have to look at Africa as more than just a source for lower cost labor. There's a ton of tech talent in Africa, and I think sometimes it can be a bit exploitative where people say, oh, well, I can go hire African developers and they're going to be cheaper. We can't look at that talent on the continent in that way. We've really got to understand that Africa, with so many opportunities, natural resources, like there are so many different problem spaces, opportunity areas in Africa that developers are working on and have a unique perspective, and they can export that perspective to the US and the rest of the world in a way that others can't. And so that's the opportunity.
eCampus helps you learn smarter, become employable, and attain prosperity. I'm excited about a lot of things, right? But I think what crowns it all is the enormous amount of opportunities Africa presents. It's exciting, because everywhere you look, there is a problem to solve. And for me, those are great opportunities. I think what drives us at eCampus is the desire to create a path to prosperity. And how can we do that? Through education, skills development, all right? So from junior high school to senior high school, there shouldn't be any breaks. Then they are in the university around age 17, 18. By 21, they're out of university. Within the time they're in university, they are taking our employability assessment test to earn an employability score. That puts them in internship just after the first year. So by third year, they've done 4 internships. That's how many years of experience. So by the time they graduate, those companies they internship for are now giving them meaningful jobs. And he's only 23. So by 33, he's been working for 10 years. By 35, 2 years extra. You should be independent and now extend your hands to your other family members. Then you can now, from 35 to 75 or 80, which your life expectancy, you can have a life and be happy and think of new things, have the freedom to be creative, innovative, and create real solutions. And now we're back to try and error, what works, what doesn't work, for another 500 years? Nah, that cannot happen. We have to support each other. We have to build the partnerships, the collaborations to make sure that we create this path to prosperity. Nobody is forcing anybody to follow that path, but it has to be there. For those who choose to take that path, they should be guaranteed prosperity by the age of 35. I think that will change the dynamics of Africa. If this fails, that would be a disaster for me. I'll feel betrayed. I'll feel like maybe I betrayed all my brothers and sisters. No, it shouldn't feel. I don't think it's going to feel. I don't see that. But should that, we'll do everything to make sure it doesn't fail. But then if it does happen, we tried. Big tech influence in Ghana and how the future looks 10 years from now. So I have this conviction that to have a fair idea of the future, you have to look into the past, right? So I'll take you 10 years into the past, somewhere 2013, right? Big tech wasn't really here. So what have they seen in the past 10 years? Which is making all of them want to put their HQ here, right? Google brought their AI HQ here. Twitter brought their HQ here. Why didn't they come in 2013? Why? Or 2003? Why? Because they've seen something. They've seen indigenous, tech startups achieving things that took them years to figure out. They've seen how we are using the limited resources we have to solve real problems. They've seen, if for nothing, they've seen how we leapfrog bank accounts and became mobile money driven. So we started building our artificial intelligence in 2017 at eCampus. We call it Nile because we saw what it could do for us. And that was mainly because of the vision and the purpose of our business, right? Like I said, we want to create a path, a clear path to prosperity. So it requires a lot of predictions. You have to predict whether they'll pass the exams at this time or not. So you can be in second year, all right, of junior high school. When eCampus, Nile, or AI predicts that no, you are 85% ready for the exams. You go register as a private candidate, right? So you just jumped the final year. You've saved one more year in that path to prosperity. So we require a lot of prediction, right? If you want to get employed into a marketing sector, right? We want to be able to predict how efficient you will be in terms of your general knowledge, technical knowledge, commercial knowledge of that industry, right? So very quickly we realized that to achieve that level of prediction, you need artificial intelligence, right? So we started building our own from source. And at the time, it wasn't so popular. So we were forced to build our own. We are happy we build our everything from scratch. They had sessions with statisticians, had sessions with teachers, with employers. A lot of people were involved in the building of this data set and core of Nile. So yes, we are fully aware that is the next thing. And how it's going to help us generate revenue is the preciseness or the precision of our predictions, which is the real value to our customer, will be so evident that everybody want to try that path.
Let's do this. Welcome to Rhino VR. This is actually one of our spaces where we have the main office, but then we also have a lab and a training space at the mall. So let me show you guys around. We are an extended reality technology company specializing in building the African extended reality ecosystem. And we do this in the form of enterprise solutions that are scalable, but our business model is quite unique because 60% is the commercial projects we do, and 40% is what we call ecosystem building, where we want to build value in extended reality technologies. So we do this in the form of hackathons, discussions, boot camps, just to make sure that this information and this access to hardware and software is democratized in Africa. This is the main office. This is actually where we have a lot of meetings, brainstorms and stuff. Come on in. This is some of the team members. So here we have market intelligence, business development, project management. So a lot of the, more or less the hardcore team sits on this side, and then we distinguish between the hardcore team that runs the business, and then we have the guys who are actually doing a lot of the development work and the editing. So please follow me. What really inspires me about the people that I work with is really the fact that we all graduated from the same university, which is the University of YouTube Premium. We taught ourselves each and everything that we know because there was no schools for extended reality in Kenya, dating back even 2015 to date. And I like the fact that I work with a young team that is motivated and self-driven and self-taught. So this really excites me about the team that I work with. This is where we do a lot of the dev work from 360 filmmaking. So that particular side is 360 videos. Those are editors and directors and sound specialists. And then this side we have the AR team that creates a lot of the augmented reality and VR experiences that we create. So this is really where the hardcore of where the cogs are really run from the business. This is really where the magic happens. The rest of the other guys are kind of boring. I think what Black Rhino brings to Kenya and Africa is the fact that we are early adopters of the technology itself. We understand how to deploy it from a highly pragmatic, Afrocentric perspective. We look at it as a gift, and the idea that Black Rhino has built and continues to build infrastructure around the technology is really one of the voices that we have in the region, whereby we are giving back to a generation, because you might not know this, but by 2025, half of the world's youth population between the age of 18 to 25 years old is going to be in Africa. So we see ourselves as agents of change, accelerating the adoption of extended reality technology in Africa. This is where I sit actually, but I'm allergic to sitting in this office because I feel like I want to be together with the rest of the team. So I rarely sit in this office. This is just a gift from my niece who designed the office for us in some of the places that I've traveled to in the world that she thought that was a good gesture because we gave her the business. Let me show you guys something cool. This is actually, we have two companies, Black Rhino and White Rhino. So this is White Rhino. It creates, it's a video company that does commercials, human interest stories, documentaries, etc. And then Black Rhino is the immersive company. So the reason why we have two rhinos and a boomerang is quite symbolic because no matter how far you throw us, we'll always come back to one. When one being, we are both rhinos. And whatever challenges we have, we'll always come back together and face them. Success looks like first educational reforms, my friend. A lot of people learn through schools, and I feel like the schools are underprepared. Success is having immersive curriculums, teaching young people how to create AR and VR at a very young stage. And not just AR and VR, now you have what you call no-code technology that can allow, it really shortens the learning curve. And I feel like this is where success is, when you have educational reforms and you have individuals coming out from these institutions prepared for the market. So when I talk about how success looks to us is, first, success is by changing mindsets. We actually have to change people's mindsets to understand that there is value for this technology itself. Demonstrating the socioeconomic value of this technology is so important. So for us, number one, it means changing mindsets. Number two, reforming the educational system. The skills being acquired are not the skills required in the market. And we have to make sure that certain reforms are put in place so that individuals from the grassroots level can understand the value of this technology from a fundamental perspective to hardware and software. So I'll be very happy if these things happen. And of course, ultimate success is if we launch and we are a global company. So that's what the success looks like for us.